Hello, this is Marcus Giuliano from Aromatime Bistro, and chefonamission.com is where you can find a lot more of my information, my videos, and my mission. My mission here is nutrition, ethics, morals, and I'm here to educate consumers and hopefully some chefs along the way here. We'll catch some of these videos and understand more what happens or what us chefs are capable of in restaurants. Yesterday I talked about Walmart and Sam's Club, how they're moving forward and going 100% sustainable seafood that has been approved or certified from the MSC, which is the Marine Stewardship Council, or other similar like groups. Well, today I'm talking about one of the other similar groups, which is called Friend of the Sea. Friend of the Sea has been around, I don't know, since I guess the 90s. Did you catch that, Jamie, on their thing there?
How long they've been around?
How long they've been around?
No, but I could probably look it up quickly.
Maybe not quite the 90s. They really started out as promoting dolphin safe, and that's like their claim to fame. They were able to go into a massive campaign set up by a doctor and have saved millions of dolphins. So good job to them. But what's the current news with them, Jamie? With Friend of the Sea.
Okay, so Indonesian and current tuna longline fleets fail FOS certification.
Friend of the Sea certification.
Friend of the Sea certification.
So what happens is, because some people say, well, how do people get certified sustainable, and how can they really track these boats from all over the world, and you know, who's monitoring this? Well, now, so Jamie, Friend of the Sea, 17 vessels here in Korea.
Indonesian longline vessels.
Indonesian longline tuna they were catching. So what happened? What happened to these 17 vessels?
They basically were cited for not observing and following the restrictions and the policies that they need to in order to be certified.
So, okay. So basically, what were some of the things that were lacking?
Some of the things that they were lacking is there's no reliable data about the levels and quality of the discards of the implementation of any inappropriate seabirds and endangered species.
So what they're monitoring is they're monitoring the effects of other sea life.
Yes.
I mean, if you go on their website, they get very strict with a whole list of things they actually monitor. Other sea life, bycatch is huge. Right. The ocean floor. They want to make sure the ocean floor is undisturbed, because that's where a lot of actually damage happens, habitat destruction happens, when they drop in what's called a trawl, a bottom trawl, and they drop this trawl into the bottom and hits the bottom of the ocean floor, and it just scrapes the ocean floor as the boat pulls along, and it destroys all of the coral and the fragile habitat there. So it's very, very, very rare that you're going to find something by any of these groups that are trawl caught.
I guess they also have to have an independent observer on board.
Wanted to get to that too. So there has to be an independent observer on board of these fish, monitoring to make sure they're not having bycatch issues. So it's just not a ship going out to sea and throwing back, you know, half the catch because it was a bycatch and coming and landing on the dock. They actually have to have somebody on the boat monitoring, keeping records, and independent, which is phenomenal. Now, all these certifications obviously cost money. These are nonprofit groups, but you know, you have to pay these people, so they do cost money. And I know for me as a restaurant, I looked into the MSC certification, and it was going to cost well over $1,000 a year or something for me just to buy the seafood from people that are already approved. And then to have people approved is even more costly. But with people like Walmart and Sam's Club stepping up, as I mentioned yesterday, it's going to become absolutely necessary if you want to do business successfully. You know, in this day and age, you're going to have some kind of certification, ethics, or morals, because more and more people are after that. What else does the article say?
That was really basically the gist of the article.
Now, the poor thing on this article is in the bottom of the article, you know, they mentioned that shark fin. You know,
right, they started talking about shark fin, but I wasn't 100% sure if that had to do with.
It was another violation they found on, I think, a Korean vessel.
Okay.
Was it 5,000 shark fins or something?
5,000
shark fins. A combination of I guess, the top fin, bottom fin, whatever. But about 5,000 fins
on some of the vessels.
On these vessels were found just for shark soup. Now, what happens when you go fishing for shark fin? You don't use the whole shark. You basically catch the shark. And there's some really disturbing videos on YouTube. If anybody really wants to see what exactly is happening, you can go on YouTube and see people shark finning. They catch the shark and basically cut off the fins and throw the shark back in the water, and that's it. The shark has no chance of living. The shark is done. The meat's not used. Nothing's used. It's a very horrific ordeal.
And they also, I guess, were killing endangered species sharks.
Right, endangered species. Right. So this is all for shark fin soup. Right. This is the only market just for shark fins. A soup.
Bowl of soup.
Right. And the lack of common sense that happens in this is just amazing. And some nations, some vessels think this is totally legitimate to do this.
So the executive director of Friend of the Sea, President Obama has taken an important step by signing the Shark Conservation Act in January of this year. Other countries should now follow his example. So they're starting to put things out there that, to prevent things.
To prevent this. Shark fin soup has always been controversial. If somebody were to ask me the worst handful of items to eat because of the ethics and morals and stuff like that, and just the lack of just humanity, shark fins would be on the top. Mm-hmm. Shark fin and veal would be way on the top. It's just things that just not much thought's put into it. Right. And it's a shame, especially on the veal side, to rip a baby veal away from its mom and just not even an hour old and stick it into a crate and keep it in dark and basically make these things anemic and where they can't move. And it's, that and the shark fins are really horrific. There's not much, I think, that really tops that kind of stuff. It's just really not good practices. But they caught the shark fins. I'm not sure. It doesn't say that there's any international laws for getting shark fins still, because it's still accepted in some countries. Yeah, even though a few, 64 of which were on the red list. So I'm sure if it's an endangered species, they're going to have problems with that. Right. On an international level. But some of these countries think it's perfectly fine to go out and just cut the fins off and throw the shark back without using any other part of the meat. So, Friend of the Sea, you can find Friend of the Sea at friendofthesea.org. You can go on there, you can check out their news and check out their certifications. You can also find product that is actually certified. It'll give you name brands of farms and wild caught fish and give you all kinds of hints on what to look for. So friendofthesea.org, great resource. Oceans Alive is another website. You can Google Oceans Alive. Really great resource. And of course, Monterey Bay Aquarium's Seafood Watch is probably the authority on all this. They're the ones who get the most publicity. They actually have an iPhone app that'll help you make more sustainable food choices or seafood choices. So I'm Marcus Giuliano. I'm a chef on a mission. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you later. You can email me at chef@chefonamission.com. Thank you very much.